Hey, welcome to the DPP channel, and today we have another game for you. Today we have Lord versus Anger Blader post-ban list. So we shall see how the Anger Blader fare against the Lord, which is the current meta, alongside with Gurgrid. So the Shadow Paladin does go first, riding into the Abyssal Hour, and the Anger Blader does ride into the Greedy Searcher, but he does unfortunately miss the search. He does call down the Vicious Claw here, which is a very strong turn 1 play, allowing him to actually plus off the card in a later turn. So he does go for the aggressive play, forcing a 10k shield out from the Lord player, and then passes the turn back to the Lord player. Riding to the Layer 4, which is a very strong turn to play, and does Superior Call the Charon, which will counter charge 1, giving back the resources he has paid. Now he does go for the Abyssal Hour, counter blasting 1 to draw 1 card. And that should conclude for the turn, and we'll continue for the aggression. Swinging the Charon first for only a 5k card, and a quick shield will be used to check into another blank here. So the turn does conclude, passing back to the touchy player. He does try to the Mega Rex here. Now he does call the Greedy Searcher once again, but this time he does hit into the Anger Blader. Very nice. So the Greedy Searcher does add a bit of consistency for the deck, which was the problem back then for Anger Blader. So I'm still very surprised they actually released all these monsters back to the game. He does call the Sweet Commander here, and the Cat, which actually does gauge to the Sweet Commander. Now he does swing with the Cat, boosted by the Vicious Claw, and the Cat does give one more gauge to the Sweet Commando. Now Vanguard will attack, killing off his own Vicious Claw to proc the skill. So he does plus 2 cards through this turn, and an additional draw trigger to boot, so there's 4 cards plus to hand. And the Sweet Commander does swing for the third attack, engaging the third one, so it's now currently a resist unit. So the Lord player does ride into the Lord here, using his skill to retire the Cat, because you can't retire the Sweet Commander when there's 3 gauge on it. Now using the Lord skill to actually return to the Abyssal Hours, Superior riding into the Drag Driver, putting the marker all stacked to one side, calling the Abyssal Hours that he has returned from the bottom returned from the drop zone, to the deck. Apologies for the Soul Blast, I forgot about Abyssal Hours skill tag, so we are supposed to actually counter blast for them because the opponent's Vanguard is still currently only at grade 2, so you are not able to actually pay the soul. So he does call the Mofasa here, and the Lord is quite determined to actually kill off the Sweet Commando because it will scale very hard if left untouched. Do know that Mofasa can attack the side and then recalling another unit, so the Sweet Commando is going to be facing 3 attacks from the Shadow Paladin. So he does swing at the side with the Drag Driver, which is a 43k worth of power, and does let it go, getting a critical there, a double critical at that, passing all to the Mofasa. So he does swing with the side first, which is 28k. He does eat into a power here. So swinging with the Mofasa with triple crit there. This is a 55k power, eating 3 damage, a draw trigger and a heal, but the heal doesn't go off. So Mofasa does proc his skill, Superior calling the Charon, but the Charon will not be able to hit because Tachikaze does hit into 3 damage trigger, but the counter charge is worth it. So he does try into the Anger Blader here, and we shall see how well the card will do. He does call the Mega Rex there, a Sweet Commando, and other than Mega Rex. So sadly don't have the second Sweet Commando there, which will most probably clutch the game. So he does call the Great One there to actually gauge one of it to the Sweet Commando, and then counter blasting 1 to plus 5k to their unit, and then using Anger Blader's skill to actually just chuck the card into the gauge. And he does so again to actually kill off all my units. He's just gonna keep doing it. So everything is dying here, and everything is pretty gauged, I would say. But unfortunately, don't have the second Sweet Commander, which I did kill off in the previous turn. So he does use the Mega Rex here to actually kill off the Grade 3 Searcher to counterblast 1 to actually gauge 1. So it's allowed, it will be hitting for 24k on its own, which is just a 15k card. A Sweet Commander will swing on the Excel marker, which is additionally plus 30k power on top of it, so it's 39k, so it will be a 30k card. He does decide to swing with the second Mega Rex, so allowing it to hit for another 15k gun. And now Anger Blader will swing to actually counterblast 1 to restand those cards that have 3 gauge above and plus 5k to the front row, which is just unfortunately a 17k Vanguard. A no pass is guarded by the Lord player here, and a draw trigger is pumped to the side, and this will hit for a 35k guard. A Kanzen will be used, and it does use the Mega Rex combo again to get power, but a Kanzen is being forced out once again by the Lord. So the Lord does go for the Superior right here, and he only has 1 card in hand. So in most cases, against Anger Blader, a deck will not be able to recover that well, but in this case, Lord is super strong because he can Superior Call a lot of units just by almost no cost, I would say. So he does Superior into a Drag Driver here, counter blasting 1. Superior Calling the Abyssal Hour to actually get hands back. And lastly, he does opt for the Nightmare Painter. So Nightmare Painter will be doing the Soul Charge first, and will be paid through the Soul plus of the Abyssal Hour, so drawing 2 cards. And he does get the third Abyssal Hour to hand, and he's considering whether to actually Counter Blast or Soul Blast, because he's at 5 damage, and the Soul Blast will basically cause the Lord to have no more critical for the Great Ones. So he does gamble for the Soul Blast, and he does top deck a Morfessa, so the gamble does pay off, and he does swing with the Morfessa, and this is the game. Thank you for watching till the end, and do consider subscribing and liking and dropping a comment if you do enjoy the content.